Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021, Tuesday of the 28th week in Ordinary Time. Coming to you from the great cloister walk that connects our two schools, the upper school and the lower school here at the Franciscan School. A beautiful little cloister walk along the wetlands over here. And then I'm just backing out of there. But when you walk along the cloister walk, it's a very peaceful kind of walk, except at drop-off and pick-up during school days, when it becomes quite noisy with all kinds of students happy both to arrive and then to go home at the end of the school day. In today's readings, Paul continues in his letter to the Romans. Here, he does something that's very interesting because he is trying to show the greatness of Christianity over the Greco-Roman religions. And again, he does so by a way of negativity, and basically saying how all this was foolishness, and how they decided to focus more on the creation than on the Creator, which is all true in one way. But again, Paul is also doing this because of what the Greco-Roman pantheon of gods had done to Judaism, and trying in some ways to suppress it, or at least to lessen its impact, and trying to replace it again with the various Roman gods and goddesses, or Greek gods and goddesses. And so Paul has kind of an axe to grind, again, that he uses against against the Roman religion to be able to show the superiority of Christianity, which is all fine and well. But there were many wonderful things that Greco-Roman religion did offer. So it wasn't all basically debauchery and lasciviousness and terrible, awful things. Those were present, yes. But there was also a consciousness that was growing. And in some ways, the growing of a social consciousness and the need to respond to others and to live life in relationship is sort of what paved the way for Christianity to then begin to take root within Greco-Roman society. Because if it was so foreign, if it was so different, if there was nothing that Christianity could latch onto, well, then it would have just been another foreign religion that never would have amounted to anything. So it's important to realize why Paul says what he does in the letter to the Romans, what he's trying to do there, but then also to recognize the many things, the many ways in which Greco-Roman culture did try to offer civilization something new and different. It was not able to achieve that on its own, and it needs Christianity to accomplish what it sets out to do. But it is not all bad, it is not all negative. Connecting with that is also one of the warnings I think that I've said before, is that be very careful when you invite Jesus to dinner, because he's not always the greatest of conversationalists or the greatest of guests. In case in point, a Pharisee today invites him to dinner at his house, and somehow some argument or something is said, or whatever it is, about not washing his hands, and Jesus goes into a tirade against the Pharisee about, again, caring more about what's on the outside than was on the inside, which Jesus will go more into in these next couple of days. And the connection that needs to be made between what's on the outside and what's on the inside of us. But one wonders how the rest of the dinner went after Jesus kind of goes into this outburst about how the Pharisees should be caring more about, kindness and giving and charity than about washing of hands. It is important to realize, though, that, again, this idea of cleanliness and washing hands was very important to Judaism, and was one of the reasons why they did not suffer from the plagues of the Middle Ages the way Christians did, because Christians were filthy in the Middle Ages, and nobody ever wants to think about that, but they were. They were filthy, disgusting people, and so who didn't wash, and so because of that, they were more infected with the plagues and the viruses and whatever it is that plagued the Middle Ages, but from which the Jewish people were saved. That made the Christian people, unfortunately, think the Jewish people were poisoning wells, or conjuring the devil, or in some ways causing harm upon them, and they set out to kill them. So no one was happy, and that's because no one was washing hands. The importance always of cleanliness, of washing our hands, and making sure that we are clean, is, as it says, next to godliness. It is something to be remembered, and it's something to be practiced, but making sure that what is clean on the outside also reflects what is clean on the inside of us as believers in this world. And may the Lord give you his peace.